Today, we focus on our second set of passages related to bread found in the Bible. This set focuses in the opposite direction. Instead of hard work for food, it focuses on God's provision for us. In this set, God provides for his people, both in times when they call on him and in times when they complain about him. He consistently sustains them, saves them, and gives them multiple chances. In Exodus 16:3, we see God's people complain that they'd rather had died in Egypt than starved to death in the wilderness. This is a constant refrain throughout Israel's journey in the wilderness. Here they were, with God in their midst, having just seen God perform multiple miracles on their behalf. He'd caused plagues, set them apart with the Passover, guided them on their escape in the physical forms of fire and cloud. He parted the Red Sea to give them safe passage and destroy Pharaoh's army following them. And yet, they still grumbled that they would be better off dead. In their complaining, God still provides for them. God provides them manna, or bread that tastes like honey, in the morning, to be collected like the morning dew, and he provides quail in the evening while they are in the wilderness. Exodus 16, reading from the NLT, says, "Then the whole community of Israel set out from Elim and journeyed into the wilderness of Sin, between Elim and Mount Sinai. They arrived there on the 15th day of the second month, 1 month after leaving the land of Egypt. There, too, the whole community of Israel complained about Moses and Aaron. 'If only the Lord had killed us back in Egypt,' they moaned. 'There we sat around pots filled with meat and ate all the bread we wanted. But now you have brought us into this wilderness to starve us all to death.' Then the Lord said to Moses, 'Look, I'm going to rain down food from heaven for you. Each day the people can go out and pick up as much food as they need for that day. I will test them in this to see whether or not they follow my instructions. On the 6th day, they will gather food, and when they prepare it, there will be twice as much as usual.'" Skipping ahead a few verses to verse 13. "That evening, vast numbers of quail flew in and covered the camp. And the next morning, the area around the camp was wet with dew. When the dew evaporated, a flaky substance as fine as frost blanketed the ground. The Israelites were puzzled when they saw it. 'What is it?' they asked each other. They had no idea what it was. And Moses told them, 'It is the food the Lord has given you to eat. These are the Lord's instructions. Each household should gather as much as it needs. Pick up 2 quarts for each person in your tent.' So the people of Israel did as they were told. Some gathered a lot, some only a little. But when they measured it out, everyone had just enough. Those who gathered a lot had nothing left over, and those who gathered only a little had enough. Each family had just what it needed. Then Moses told them, 'Do not keep any of it until morning.' But some of them didn't listen and kept some of it until morning. But by then it was full of maggots and had a terrible smell. Moses was very angry with them. After this, the people gathered the food morning by morning, each family according to its need. And as the sun became hot, the flakes they had not picked up melted and disappeared." In God's provision here, we see an application that goes beyond just providing food for his people. The gathering of manna is a test to follow God's law, gathering enough for the day, and on the 6th day, gathering twice what they needed, and then resting on the 7th. It's both a reminder for us and God's people. It will be a daily reminder of 3 things for God's people for 40 years in the wilderness. First, it will be a reminder to follow God's law. Do as God commands by following the directions he's given, and the manna will be more than enough. Don't, and it spoils. He provides for us what we need when we need it. There is enough for each of us. He provides exactly what we need, no more and no less. Second, it will be a reminder that God is able to act on and in creation, bringing quail at night, covering the land with manna in the morning. He is not a hands-off God. He is active and present, watching and intervening on behalf of his people, and everything on the earth is under his control. Lastly, it will be a reminder that people do not live by bread alone. Rather, we live by every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord. We need to spend time in learning and valuing his word. We need a relationship with Him as much as we need food and water to survive.